Like, if you have a chance to go build something, form something, actually have a chance at winning when you haven't had that, and maybe for him with the Nuggets, it wasn't as bad as it was for LeBron with the Cavs in terms of getting talent there, because Melo did have some good teammates. I can understand 06, 07, 08 when they 09 they made the West Conference Finals. You're able to bring in Chauncey Billups. You're able to bring in Allen Iverson. You're able to bring in Marcus Camby. You're able to bring in Kenyon Martin. You're able to bring in these players, other tertiary pieces around Melo. Why would I feel like LeBron, like I don't have help? I do have help. And I'm that guy, and I'm going to get it done. I understand the mindset. Loser mentality when you're given the option of, all right, times is changing. Let's do this thing for winning. Let's take less. Let's do a little less here so we can do more here. And you're like, nah, I'm not even comfortable even having somebody over me, bro. Like, that's loser mind.
I don't know if in 06, 07, I would say it's definitely, I wouldn't say it's loser. I wouldn't say it's loser. I would say that, again, and then we got to look at it, and I'll pull it up. I definitely don't think he was in a bad situation like LeBron. But then another part of the conversation is, where are we going to do this at? And I could also imagine LeBron telling him, yo, Dan Gilbert is buns. They are not bringing me nobody. And then before they get off the phone, do you want to come to Cleveland? I have no interest in coming to an organization that you just said was buns and they're not bringing nobody. Why can't you come to Denver or something like that? And maybe there was something else going on. That's his hometown. I get the whole complication and all that stuff like that. There wasn't a Lakers to go to, because at the time they had Kobe and all this stuff like that. And then they couldn't go to Miami at that specific time. I get that. I wouldn't call it loser because that was just the dream that everybody was sold. Everybody was sold the MJ dream. Everybody was sold the Larry Bird dream. Everybody was sold the even 06, 07. Nah, Kobe and them they wasn't in it at that time. Everybody was sold the Tim Duncan, these dreams of like, you can do it on your own. You can rebuild. That's weird. You're going to be better off doing it this way. And then 10 hits, 11 hits, and he is left out of the loop. I think that's something that needs to be talked about. Because I don't doubt it was always supposed to be LeBron and Carmelo Anthony. Because the way they even talk about Chris Bosh was like, whoa, what the fuck? What is this? This is an afterthought. But with that being said, I think he was just now he had FOMO. He went to New York. Stoudemire was the king of New York at the time, all that stuff like that. And then he goes to New York, and then they have this awkward thing. Somebody gets hurt, and then the story is written or whatever. I just wouldn't say he's a loser for trying to do it his own way. Maybe stupid.
Yeah, like I get it from his perspective because he was like a top 5 player at that time. He had his own team, good situations.
Top 5 what?
Top 5, top 7, top 10 player.
In 07. Okay, cute.
I'm talking about like 08, 09, maybe not 07 specifically, but towards like the tail end of his Denver career, like he was viewed as one of the elite guys. Okay. So I don't blame him. I don't blame him. But yeah, hindsight is 2020. He should have joined Bron. It's cool.
06, 07, he gets AI. Like he has AI on his team.
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't want to either.
Are we about to shift topics? Because I didn't want to just interrupt y'all with this idiotic behavior going on in chat right now. Anybody with the clown take that, oh my God, you're not being consistent, because what about KD? I've said from day one, I've had an issue with where KD went, not him leaving. And KD definitely did come from a place similar to Carmelo, where these spots aren't as bad as other situations can be. So them leaving isn't really the problem. I mean, and them leaving isn't really the problem. If Melo would have left Denver to go to Miami, I wouldn't have been mad at Melo because Denver was losing to my Lakers. I wouldn't have said anything less about them. If them niggas would have went and teamed up with Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, and Manu on the Spurs, I would have called them bussies, a bunch of bussies. No way. The Spurs, they almost 60 wins every year, and then y'all go to them? That's what Kevin Durant did. That's the issue with KD. It is not him leaving. It's where he went. Why are we still having this conversation? 24 niggas is dumb.
I'm gonna stop reading chat.
I get caught up sometimes, man.
Yeah, you just got your head down. It looks crazy. On the flippity flip of that, D Wade was also revisiting his past and talked about some things that I thought was interesting as well. He definitely and I'm gonna tell you something. He got people riled up with this one, where he talked about him being on a path to being MJ. Roll clip.
Because I was like, no one has ever really, they don't understand my game, right? Like, you don't know what I did. Right. I did so many different things and I played so many different roles. And so that's one of the reasons why I'm not the greatest shooter of all time. I'm not the greatest this, but I was great at so many different things. And Melo talked about it. Then I learned how to be great at being a role player. Then I learned how to be, and so I learned how to be great at all these things. And no one knows how to really break down my game. So they look over it and they just go to, one or two things. But I did so many things in the game of basketball. So, yeah, I mean, when I had it. I thought I was going to be, before injuries, I'm like, MJ, I'm coming for you.
Yeah.
No, I mean, that's my mentality.
I know the mentality. So I like when he talked this shit.
Yeah, I thought I was coming for MJ. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to be the greatest because I figured it out very early in the league.
Right.
In my second year, I knew I was like, oh, no.
I mean,
is this hot take or hot ass? Is this hot take or hot ass?
He was coming for MJ pause without injuries. Yeah, I think that's a good take. Was he ever gonna get there? No, but trajectory wise, even with how his career panned out, he still ended up being a top 20 player. So without injuries, he's probably top 10. And we look at a guy like Kobe as a guy that was, going for MJ's head in terms of the legacy.
Mm-hmm. Hot take. D Wade was not lying. He was spitting before the injuries with as quick as he won. He was looking like clearly he could be probably the greatest player in his draft, and he was in the draft class with LeBron. It was crazy. He was doing everything early. So before the injuries, I don't think that's a hot ass take. Hot take, man.
Gets a ring. More deeper playoff runs. I can't guarantee that he wins a ring right after because I'm not gonna totally guarantee that, but definitely some deep playoff runs. LeBron comes. They still get those 2 rings, but the way that he is contributing is still much better. Mind you, in that space between the first ring and then the next rings with like LeBron, I mean, they probably build their team differently too. And not saying Miami had like a super terrible team or whatever, but he's accumulating stats. He's accumulating accolades. The conversation would be, is he getting enough like first teams to surpass Kobe? Is he potentially getting an MVP in there? All that's in that gap.
And at that point, he's the guy who stayed too. But keep going.
Yeah. And then LeBron Bosch come. They lose the first one. They win the next 2. I'm still kind of up in the air about the fourth one. The question then becomes, go ahead.
I'm gonna say I'm in question about the first one. If we're talking Wade with no injuries, nothing having him have setbacks, I think he'll be able to put it in a different gear to just win out 2011 with LeBron playing ass. Like I don't know. I felt like he was still in his prime, but even then he still had injuries that set him back a little bit. If we're removing those, so we just have prime D Wade without the drawbacks, 2011 is in there for me.
Yeah, because I think he was injured in 07 and 08, right? Both years.
Mm-hmm.
And then 09 was the MVP year where he was going like band for band with 09 LeBron. And that's a crazy thing to say. 2010, he was injured again. So, yeah, non-injured D Wade going up against those Mavs teams. He's averaging 30, 32 instead of 26 or 27. Is that enough? Did LeBron ruin D Wade's legacy? That's the real convo. That's the real convo, chat.
06, 07, he plays 51. 07, 08, he plays 51. 11, 12, he plays 49. 13, 14. So really, I'm gonna tell you, really, the real question is, after that ring, how do they rebuild Miami? Which is a decent question. But does LeBron leave with a healthy D Wade in Miami?
I don't think so.
I actually think so. I ain't gonna lie. Healthy D Wade, D Wade might be viewed as the best player, and at that point, he might leave on like some KD shit where, damn, they cooked me for joining this super team. I still don't got one real ring, even though, like, even with our current timeline, at that time, everyone's like, "Oh, LeBron joined the super team. That shit don't count." But especially if D Wade was the better player, people would not count those rings at all. So yeah, I think healthy D Wade, he actually leaves still.
Do y'all think that is contingent on 14? If they lose to the Spurs, I could see what Beasley saying. If they beat the Spurs and they complete the three-peat, does he leave?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I at that point, like, he got the MVPs, he's won, three-peated. Like, the one thing LeBron would be thinking in his head that he hasn't done is winning by himself as the man. So on some Melo shit, low key.
I would probably have to disagree. I think Damo might say the same thing. If they three-peat, they lose to 11 in the Mavs, they win the next three, they beat the Thunder, they beat the Spurs 2 times in a row. They know that the Spurs are older, and then the next year they have the opportunity to do 4. Doing 4 would, even if Wade is let's say they're battling for best player position, winning 4 in a row would put both of them in a category. If they win 4 in a row, I'm sorry, my dick is getting hard. If they win 4 in a row or have the opportunity to win 4 in a row, I'm not gonna lie, both of them put themselves in top. They automatically. There's 2 top 5 players, no cap. I know. I gotta put it out. There's 2 top 5 players. Fuck.
He might keep on doing like 1 years until they lose.
I would say the only reason he would have went back to Cleveland is because of the opportunity and the fact that D Wade was obviously not enough. If Wade is still at his level, I think he's saying fuck that little nigga Kyrie. I'm like, what are we? Him and Wiggins.
What are we saying?
What am I talking about? This guy in my draft class has my longevity and he's great. Yeah, no, we're good. We're good in South Beach. The James gang will stay here.
I just feel like when we look at, maybe I'm just thinking about Chicago, and the Lakers. Like, once you win so much, by the end of like year or ring 3 or ring 4, you start worrying about the other shit. You know what I'm saying? Like the more personal accolades. Like, it's not just about the team anymore because we've already done the team things. It's about, my perception as a player. Like, even Melo said it to I think Tatum was on Melo's pod, and Tatum was like, or Melo was like, yeah, now that Tatum got the ring, like, now that you got the ring, like, next season I really want you, I'm saying, to be that guy, be the man. Like, I really want you to take on that role. Look at Tatum. Facts, bro. Facts.
Oh my God. Okay, I'll say this before we move on, because there's another player that's tripping. I'm looking at the 14-15 Miami Heat roster. They still have. I mean, the question is the question in this conversation is about Chris Bosh's health. Truly, they have 26 games of Dragic. They have Luol Deng, and obviously the roster might look different. Luol Deng, they got D Wade, they got Mario Chalmers, Norris Cole, Hassan Whiteside, Michael Beasley, Danny Granger gets on this team, Shabazz Napier, Chris Anderson, like Shannon Brown, James Ennis, Josh McRoberts, UD, of course. And then you just slap LeBron James on this team.
With a healthy Wade.
And they I'm not gonna lie, again, all they gotta do is beat 15-16 Warriors. Curry
I don't know if that's just all they gotta do thing, but
they killing the East. Who in the East?
No, I'm talking about just all they gotta do is just beat the 73-9 Warriors.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. That wasn't 79-3. That wasn't 73-9. That was the year before 73-9. 14. I'm talking about 14-15. I'm not gonna lie. Fuck them. Fuck that duration of the Warriors. The big three in Miami with healthy Wade. Man, stop it. Stop it. I'm not going for it. That's on me.
Did Chris Bosh get blood clots that year?
I think
Or
it was
it
next
16.
year. I think it was next year. He played 50 some games and he played 40 some games next year, and then I think that was it.
Okay.
So, just to go on to another, because again, we're still on the theme of the player podcast. Damo's guy, Sebastian Telfair, is crashing the hell out.
What's that Damo's guy?
You ever
Crashing.
seen him in
What?
the club? Never. Sheesh. Kobe had them chicks though.
Yeah?
Yes, he had them chicks. Yes, because I'll give y'all another Kobe story with the chicks. Shit off. But that ain't much. So yeah, my exes and her, you know, the little go out group with Emily and Piari and all them girls, whatever. And yeah, so it was this one chick in the group, I won't say her name, and she was the baddest, right? And she was a friend of all the girls and all this. And then she comes to LA, she's staying at my house. They all staying at my house in LA at this time. I think it's my ex-wife's birthday, right? And we playing against the Lakers, and she at the game with us, and then we ain't see her for 8 months. We ain't see her for 8 months, and I was like, yo, where is this girl at? And when she popped back up, yeah, she was living at the Palazzo right there, across from what's that mall out there in LA? What's the shopping mall outside?
Beverly Center?
Huh?
Beverly Center? No, the Grove?
Center. The Grove.
Yeah.
Kobe snatched her. Kobe must have been shooting a free throw like she bad. Kobe had them chicks, but he wasn't in no clubs.